So chapter 20 is about wordplay changing our reality. Words are fun, and they absolutely shape our reality. If someone's diagnosed as having COVID-19 or coronavirus or not, that matters. Are you in isolation or are you in quarantine? So wordplay absolutely matters. With metonymy and synecdoche, it's about representing a larger group or idea with a smaller part. So metonymy is where you take an entire group of political ideology and you narrow it down to a single person or a single symbol. And unfortunately, that symbol is easy to manipulate and sometimes dismiss. So taking climate change and representing it with Greta Thunberg, it's a great idea. She's got a lot of ethos, and we can see what people on the far right are doing with her and her character. That's metonymy. Synecdoche is where you take something small and then you make it represent the larger process. So a MAGA hat representing political ideology of the GOP. Make America great. It's one small symbol, but it's now become something in place of a more complicated political ideology. Hyperbole is exaggerated language, and it can work to sell things. This is the best, it's the worst, and so you can sell ideology with hyperbolic language. However, if you are always using hyperbole, if you're always exaggerating things or framing them in a very extreme light, people aren't going to think you as credible. You're going to decrease your ethos. So being dramatic and hyperbolic when it's appropriate, sure, that's effective. Always being hyperbolic, not effective. This chapter talks a lot about the halo effect. And remember that the halo/horn effect is that you can set yourself up to have a certain light with your audience. And so you deem yourself credible by taking certain actions. They're going to think your arguments are more credible. Vice versa. If you're not credible with an audience, the horn effect, right? The opposite is in play. So you've got to be aware of that effect as well. Finally, there's a discussion of profanity. Profanity is really interesting about its influence on an audience because profanity in certain areas at a certain time can be really effective. But if someone is always using profane language, are their arguments going to be considered credible? So I'm able to swear with the best of them. Do I always fucking swear? No, I don't always fucking swear. So I can choose when and where I'm going to swear for that profanity to have an impact. My niece, my youngest one, is wearing a back brace, and when she was about 11 years old, she was being made fun of by a little girl in her class, and she didn't want to wear her back brace because she was being made fun of. And finally, my older sister, Miss Kinder VBS, her other aunt, was talking to her about it, and Angie does not swear. Like, she might say damn every once in a while, or shit, but she really doesn't swear, and Jenna was crying and complaining about this child who's making fun of her. And Angie, Miss Kinder VBS, says to Jenna, well, she's just a fucking bitch. And Jenna's eyes get all big because Tata Angie doesn't swear like that. In Illinois, when I found out that my dad had passed away and I was in a car having a very intense conversation with what I thought was my best friend, and it turned out I had just told my twin sister that our dad had died, I had a full-on panic attack, threw the phone across the car, and I was leaving. And my mom, who does not swear, said, "You will stay in that fucking seatbelt." That shocked me enough to keep me in a car at 65 miles an hour. So swearing in the appropriate situation might be appropriate. It's going to have an impact with the argument, and you have to choose the right moment. A funny example, I used to lose my keys and panic all the time because I couldn't find them, thus I couldn't leave. So my mom, again who doesn't swear, went on vacation with my sister and her husband down to Mexico to see my brother-in-law's family, and she brought me home a little plaque that says, "Aquí están los pinches llaves." Here are the fucking keys. And that's humorous. It's enough to remind me, put my keys on that hook. Guess who doesn't lose her keys?